Along with the rest of the world, I was shocked and saddened to hear that King Charles III has been diagnosed with cancer. This dreaded disease knows no boundaries of wealth, fame, or prominence. It ravages victims without regard for the protections of privilege. His Majesty is wished a full and quick recovery as prayers are offered up for him, for his family who will support and surround him at this time, and for the doctors who will offer treatment, hope, and ultimately, a cure. And though the King will certainly receive the highest level of care and be afforded every possibility of comfort, it does not detract from the fear and the uncertainty he must feel. His title does not make him any less human, or immune from the emotions of facing his own mortality. These traits unify us all in our suffering and humanity. On opposite ends of this spectrum of humanity are those who sadly face illness or even death, alone. With no one to share in their suffering and sadness, tragically many today are isolated, lonely, and forgotten. On the opposite extreme are those like King Charles, who must endure something very private and personal, yet do so surrounded by countless courtiers and under the public scrutiny and speculation of the world. A cancer diagnosis is never easy, regardless of where on this spectrum one falls. But as the monarchy attempts to modernize and be more relevant in the current age, perhaps change is necessary, and likely is forced by this era of social media and 24/7 news cycles. Rather than trying to catch up to a narrative that is erroneous or rumored, it may be easier for the palace to be ahead of the story and drive the narrative instead. Recently, King Charles revealed he was seeking treatment for an enlarged prostate, which unexpectedly led to the discovery of this new cancer and spurred on the start of immediate treatment. And though we do not know the type of cancer, the fact that this news was released publicly was unprecedented. A few weeks prior, the palace announced that Catherine, the Princess of Wales, had been admitted to the London clinic for planned abdominal surgery. The statement was intentionally vague, indicating that she appreciates the interest this statement will generate, and wishes that her personal medical information remains private. And though there has been great speculation, no further details have been disclosed. Yet talking about it even in general terms signals a new era in palace transparency. My former boss, President Ronald Reagan, also experienced the challenges of life in a fishbowl, where the peering eyes of the press and the public are always attuned. While it would have been tempting to try and keep medical matters private, President Reagan believed if his experiences could be used to advance research and medicine, or bring awareness to a disease or condition, that he should use his platform to benefit others. And he did, whether it was removal of a malignancy in his colon, or Mrs. Reagan's public battle with breast cancer, including her decision to have a double mastectomy, or his revelation that he had Alzheimer's disease. Rather than retreating, Ronald Reagan chose to reveal his health challenges. This showed his humility, his humanity, and his desire to help others. Specifically with his Alzheimer's diagnosis, Ronald Reagan knew that countless families were not only overwhelmed by the burden this illness brings, but also had been relegated to the shadows in shame, since much was still unknown about this cruelty, leading many to suffer in silence. In a beautiful letter he personally wrote to my fellow Americans, Reagan revealed, "I have recently been told that I am one of the millions of Americans who will be afflicted with Alzheimer's disease." Upon learning this news, Nancy and I had to decide whether as private citizens we would keep this a private matter or whether we would make this news known in a public way. In the past Nancy suffered from breast cancer and I had my cancer surgeries. We found through our open disclosures we were able to raise public awareness. We were happy that as a result many more people underwent testing. They were treated in early stages and able to return to normal, healthy lives. So now, we feel it is important to share it with you. In opening our hearts, we hope this might promote greater awareness of this condition. Perhaps Perhaps it will encourage a clearer understanding of the individuals and families who are affected by it. Similarly, this week's statement from the palace said, "His Majesty has chosen to share his diagnosis to prevent speculation in the hope it may assist public understanding for all those around the world who are affected by cancer." Become an Express Premium member. Support fearless journalism. Read the Daily Express online. Advert free. Get super fast page loading. Start 30-day free trial. King Charles III joins Ronald Reagan and others who have navigated private health challenges as public figures. We all hope His Majesty will find comfort in the prayers of the world, knowing he is not alone in his struggle, and that his transparency will help others in the future. This is a selfless act, worthy of our admiration and our prayers. Peggy Grande was executive assistant to Ronald Reagan and is author of The President Will See You Now. She is an international television commentator and columnist and served in the Trump administration.